Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Quick second to shout out all the channel members. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And thank you for anyone coming through to check out my Knife at EDC content. I will ask you, if you're so inclined and you have a second, if you would, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. It really does help me out. So today I was going through my collection and I was looking at ways, again, to classify some different knives. And so what I did is I kind of combined the different types of knives I had, and I looked for knives that fit the moniker kind of a street cleaver, of a mini cleaver, of a cleaver. Think of I don't have it in my collection, but think of the Kaiser sheepdog. Your taller blade, your bigger blade may not be flat, but it's just got those cleaver characteristics. Starting with this little fixed blade by Joey Roman. This is the mini Tanto cleaver. It is a compound grind. It's not a compound grind. It's a compound grind on the lower here, compound hollow, and then you've got this thick flat tip, and it is a chisel grind, so the back is totally flat. Very, very slicey, very nicely done. Small package with a little lanyard. Great little cleaver, little mini cleaver. And we will bring that in for number 10. And we will move on to number 9. Now, number 9 is a very unique knife. The Kizer October is basically what it is. And when I had the Kizer October out of the gate, it was kind of the same size as my mini sheepdog. Same designer, if I'm not mistaken, but just a really neat little knife. I won this off brother Jared Neves, and this little one just feels a little more beefy because it's got the scalloped or rounded titanium handles, S35V blade steel, very choppy. It's got that nice thick tall blade. And I think it fits the bill as a EDC cleaver type blade. And that is the DOCK Kizer October. So moving on, we come to another fixed blade, which is a very unique cleaver. I call this my Jacob Grant JKal Mean Streets cleaver. The reason I call it that is this hole. If this was squared off, this hole is what you would hang it by, right? So it's designed to be a street cleaver with an attitude. That's why I call it the Mean Street Cleaner. It's got that little splinter digger. But in terms of chopping, in terms of using it like you would a larger cleaver, this little fixed blade is up for the task. The JKal handles are next level in terms of ergonomics. It's got a wonderful sharpening choil built into it. Very tall, hollow ground blade. Very pokey, stabby. Also, still a cleaver. It's actually the Mean Street cleaver. From Jacob Grant, Brass Brigades. So moving on, we come to another unique fixed blade that has some belly, but I still think of it as a chunky cleaver. A cleaver could be fully square, but in my case, it can also be based on the way, the geometry that you have when you're holding it. For example, when I hold this little knife here, this little shed knives, it drops down so low that it gives me the illusion of having a much larger blade. So whether I'm chopping, whether I'm processing vegetables, material, tinder, this little knife works and feels like a cleaver. Now I've also got the Scur where the tip's not as far under the center pin there. So it doesn't give you that same drop size. So this is the Scur. This is the, I want to say it's a Conquest, but it's not. I'll leave it in the description, guys, but this is a Scur I picked up at White Mountain Knives. It's an absolute banger, and it's yeah, it's very much a rolling pin of a street cleaver. Moving on, we come to a very unique cleaver, and this is the only slip joint that I have that fits that tall blade, cleaver style, very unlike any other slip joint I have. It's by far the largest. It's got this very, very tall flat grind blade, which does a wonderful job cutting, breaking down cardboard, slicing, chopping, you name it. This blade will get it done. Very, very sharp. This isn't going to be a cutting test, but 14C 28N, therapeutically sharp. And that tall blade with that fantastic blade geometry just makes really, really quick work of that material. So that will be number 6, I think. Number 7. Number 7 is our TwoSun. Yeah, it doesn't give me the TwoSun number, but it's the largest slip joint. I had to get a little hide and drink. What do you call it? Knipex pliers holder to carry that. Moving on, we come to a knife that has a robust utility blade that made me think cleaver all the way, and it's one of the newer knives in my collection. And this is the Luke 10 Texas Clydesdale. And guys, this is a beast of a knife. It is ergonomically superior to almost every other large knife that I own. It has this tall cleaver style hollow grind blade that makes no noise as it slices through material. It's got a very distinctive point if you need to do detail cuts, and you've got a great finger rest there. But as far as cleavers go, this guy will lay it down. This is the Clydesdale, OEM by Kubi, brainchild of Luke 10 Texas. I bought it after the fact. I was not early on the list, but once I saw it get reviewed a couple of times, I knew I had to have one. So I picked this guy up. They're still available. I think they're right at $125 at New Breed EDC's website. But this is the Clydesdale by New Breed EDC, and it is a fantastic folding cleaver, in my opinion. So that takes us to number 5. That's right, guys. I haven't even done a review on this knife yet. So I never bought into the Kansept Corvid. I was never into the little folding Corvid, the big folding Corvid, the medium-sized folding Corvid. Then I saw the Corvette S. The Corvette S is the fixed blade Corvid. And all I can tell you is I absolutely love this knife. It is a slicing machine. It is a chopping machine. It is everything in a camp cleaver and an EDC cleaver that you could ever want, because it is full tang, fixed blade construction, still short, nice sized blade. I want to say it is, let's see what the blade steel is on this guy. S35VN. You've got this G-Mascus with these G10 liners. Fits the hand fantastically, and you've got this really strong jimping and this really nice choil. So from a chopping, from a hacking, it's going to cleaver your days off. And then if you want to get up here to do some detail cuts, to do some pull cuts, to do a lot more robust cuts, this little guy is going to do it for you fine. Sheath's got great retention. I use it with an ulti-clip in my back pocket, and it's just been great. So coming in here at number 5, I think we said it was, is the Corvette S. Which brings us to number 4. Number 4 is a smaller little cleaver, guys. This is the Wii Roxy 3. It's a tied knife and tool design, and it strikes me when I first picked it up years ago as a little street cleaver. The blade reminded me of that, and it's been that ever since. We did a great job with this knife. I've got several tied knife and tool exclusives, 3 of them from Best Tech, 1 of them from Wii. The one from Wii, in my opinion, is probably the best. You guys know I hate front flipping. It's got a very nice front flipper on it. Perfect deployment hole, frame lock. You've got the tied knife and tool design language there, judged by those 3 holes, and that kind of futuristic looking floating backspacer. This little guy fits the hand perfectly. 20 CV blade that is very, very, very slicey. Just a fantastic little EDC cleaver. I could use this for everything from opening packages to breaking down cardboard to just really anything that my EDC knife could call on me to use. It doesn't have a super sharp tip, yet it can still get in there if it needs to. Action on it's divine. Just a great little knife. And that's the Wii Roxy 3 coming in at number 5, which brings us to number 4. These next two knives are going to look quite similar to the Roxy 3, or similar. This is the Bergblade Slim, capital S, capital L, little I, capital M. The Bergblade Slim is OEM by Riot. It is Bergblade's play on the little small cleaver. Excuse me, OEM by Wii. And this little thing is done very well. It has a little bit thicker blade than the Roxy does. It has that single method of deployment, whether that be your finger flipper, your thumb hole, or your slow roll. You've got this partially covered bolster lock, beautiful carbon fiber, solid back spacer. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this one is in 20 CV. 20 CV, it's going to be stone washed. It's going to be therapeutically slicey. And again, a little chunk of a blade, as tall as it is short. Great action. Great access to the lock bar right there. Nice clip. And that is the Bergblade Slim coming in at number 3, which brings us to number 2. And I warn you guys, number 1 is also going to be the most obnoxious. Number 2, this is a street cleaver, EDC cleaver, that I can't beat. I don't have the V2, so I don't know if the V2 is any better. I've heard they made some changes that might have made it better. It wasn't enough change for me to move this one out because this one's so good. This is a first generation, best tech OEM'd EMP EDC Thick Boy. The Thick Boy is M390, super large, super thick, super tall flat grind on this large cleaver style blade. Deployment hole, nice belt satin. You've got the stone washed bolsters with this nice micarta back spacer, concealed liner lock there, drop shut action. Absolutely devastatingly slicey. A great little chopper, a great little feather sticker if you're looking to start a fire, because you can get a lot of pressure behind that spine, and you can direct a lot of pressure right there on that blade. So yeah, the EMP EDC Thick Boy is probably, out of normal knives, my number 1 little folder, slip joint, or fixie cleaver. I love this little guy. I think it's a mean little cleaver. It cuts great, it flips great, and it's just put together exceptionally well. Moving on, we'll come to number 1, which should be no big surprise. It should be big, but not a big surprise. So you can't talk about cleavers, oversized cleavers, not in my collection, without bringing out the PMP Tatano. So the PMP Tatano are 2 honking slabs of titanium, grade 5, a nice thick back spacer with a lanyard hole, a super well done clip, nice over travel stop. You've got this huge compound grind M390 blade. You've got a tall flat here, shorter fat flat here, and then you've got this nice swedge. You've got a wonderful place to rest your thumb, or that poon. This knife chops like a dream. It would dig, it cuts, it pries, It breaches. There's not much this knife could not do. It is a little heavier to carry, but it's very, very pocketable. It's also a great pack knife. You've got a flipper tab, and you've also got the middle finger flick hole. But guys, this is an absolute beast. That is the PMP Tatano. Then we had Best Tech OEM'd EMP EDC Thick Boy. I'm just going to put out some of the more memorable ones. We had our Wii OEM'd Bergblade Slim. We had our Wii Roxy Todd Knife and Tool collaboration. We had our Kaiser 1 of 1 October prototype. And of course, we had Loot 10 Texas, beautiful Clydesdale, a couple of fixed blades rounded off the match, guys. And that's kind of what I put together for you guys for this Sunday. I hope you find it entertaining. I hope you find it somewhat enjoyable. I'll come up with new ideas, more ideas. There's so many knives I've got that y'all haven't even seen. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. I love each and every one of you. All I ask is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.